Ukraine is preparing to order 27 Patriot air defense systems from the United States, a massive step in strengthening the country's sky shield amid Russia's relentless energy strikes. President Volodymyr Zelenskyy revealed the plan in an interview with The Guardian. In recent weeks, Moscow has intensified its attacks on Ukraine's power grid, causing rolling blackouts nationwide. That's our reality. In Kyiv, like everywhere else, there are power cuts, Zelenskyy said, adding that Putin's terrorist strikes are targeting civilians by leaving millions without electricity and water. Ukraine is now racing to boost its air defenses against nightly swarms of Russian drones. Zelenskyy said Kyiv is working closely with international partners to secure new systems from the US, while urging European allies to temporarily hand over their existing Patriot batteries. Earlier this month, Germany delivered 2 Patriot systems to Ukraine, a sign Zelenskyy hopes that Europe is ready to act faster. At the same time, Russia is not only striking Ukraine's energy infrastructure, it continues its terror across the country. Early Saturday, strikes on Dnipro and Kharkiv killed at least 4 people and injured more than a dozen others. The Ukrainian Air Forces reported that Russia launched more than 450 drones and 45 missiles. Volodymyr Zelenskyy said the main targets were Ukrainian cities, the energy sector, and innocent civilians. He once again appealed to Ukraine's partners to tighten sanctions on Moscow and keep up the pressure.
Pressure on Russia is still insufficient, and any weakening within already existing formats of pressure only encourages Putin to prolong the war, inflict more damage on our country, our people, and others around the world. Weak responses to Russian brazenness spur Russia to continue the war. We need so many sanctions, so much pressure, so much life support that Russia is stripped of all means of existence in wartime.
Most of the streets in Kherson are empty now. 3 years after Ukrainian forces liberated the city, the place that once erupted in joy has grown quiet and tense, a city where life mostly happens behind walls or underground. Back in November 2022, crowds filled the main square, waving blue and yellow flags and hugging soldiers after 9 long months of Russian occupation. People thought the nightmare was over, but the war didn't end, it only changed form. Now Russian troops fire from across the Dnipro River almost every day, and drones hover constantly over broken windows and empty courtyards. Now Russian troops fire from across the Dnipro River almost every day, and drones hover constantly over broken windows and empty courtyards. Still, those who stayed say that even this, the fear, the shelling, the sleepless night, is better than living under occupation.
Unfortunately, this fear has now become dulled because there is such a constant psychological stress from the shelling, from such a loudness. Such fear occurs at night when the shelling is very strong, and when you are sitting in the basement, it is very difficult to fall asleep after that. But surely if I go to some big city, there will be the same fear, because if other cities are shelled,
Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk said there are no objective reasons why Ukraine should lose the war. Speaking to Gazeta Wyborcza, he noted that Poland's geopolitical future looks optimistic but depends on the outcome of the fighting in Ukraine. Tusk stressed that Poland must continue supporting Kyiv as Ukraine's defeat would worsen the situation for Poland. He called for building strong, friendly relations with a sovereign Ukraine, saying this is a great opportunity for both nations. He also referred to the September 9 incident when Russian drones violated Polish airspace, calling it a turning point in the conflict. According to Tusk, the decision to shoot them down was difficult, but tolerating provocations leads nowhere. In Belgium, 3 unknown drones were seen flying over the Doel nuclear power plant on Sunday night, just hours after flights at Liège Airport were halted again because of the drone activity. The company ENGIE, which operates the plant, confirmed the drones were spotted around 10 p.m. but said they didn't affect operations. Air traffic at Liège Airport was suspended for nearly an hour after the first drone appeared, followed by 2 more a few minutes later. It's not the first time. Drones have been reported almost daily at Liège Airport over the past week, and similar cases have happened in Brussels Airport as well. Over recent days, drones have also been seen above several military bases. Belgium has now asked its allies for help. The UK, France and Germany will send personnel and equipment to strengthen protection around sensitive sites. Belgian intelligence services suspect a foreign state, most likely Russia, could be behind these incidents. Norway may unlock the gate to Russia's frozen billions for Ukraine. Europe's biggest sovereign wealth fund, worth nearly 1.8 trillion euros, could soon play a decisive role in helping Ukraine. According to the Sunday Times, Norway is considering using part of its vast oil and gas fortune to help unfreeze Russian assets and turn them into real financial aid for Kyiv. The idea quietly circulating in Brussels and Oslo is bold. Create a 140 billion euros reparations loan for Ukraine, backed by the profits or assets seized from Russia since its full-scale invasion. But there is a catch. Belgium, where most of those funds are kept, fears lawsuits from Moscow and has blocked the plan for now. That's where Norway could come in. Also is studying whether to provide a 100 billion euros guarantee from its sovereign fund, a move that could unlock the entire mechanism and help Kyiv get the money it desperately needs. If approved, analysts say it would be a historic breakthrough, the first real step toward using Russia's wealth to rebuild what Russia destroyed. Norway has the means. Its energy profits have soared since 2022, bringing in over 100 billion euros in extra revenue as Europe turned away from Russian gas. Now, the question is whether one of the world's richest and most stable democracies will use that strength to lead. For Ukraine, such a decision would mean more than money. It would signal that justice is finally moving from words to action. Australia has found a loophole that allows it to keep importing Russian oil, despite officially banning it after the full-scale invasion of Ukraine, The Guardian reports. According to the investigation, since 2023, Australia has imported over 3 million tons of Russian oil products rerouted through a foreign port party owned by Australia's Macquarie Bank. Those shipments may have been sold to Australian companies. The case exposes gaps in Australia's sanctions system. While Canberra stopped direct purchases from Russia in 2022, the current rules still allow oil to be bought through third companies, something already prohibited under stricter EU and UK regulations. Analysts said that this loophole effectively helps fund Russia's oil industry and tax revenue that support the war. And such practices undermine Australia's support for Ukraine, showing that even an ally can indirectly keep Russia's war economy alive. US shutdown set to end as Senate moves forward on funding bill. The 40-day government shutdown in the United States is finally moving toward an end. On Sunday night, the Senate advanced a key funding bill that would reopen the federal government and restore pay to hundreds of thousands of furloughed workers. In a procedural vote, senators approved the House-passed measure to fund the government through January 30, 2026 by a margin of 60-40. The bill includes 3 full-year spending packages and guarantees back pay for federal employers, including military personnel, border officers, and air traffic controllers. If the Senate passes the bill in its final vote, it will go back to the House of Representatives for confirmation before heading to President Donald Trump for a signature. As part of the deal, Republicans agreed to extend health care subsidies for low-income Americans, a major priority for Democrats. Senate Majority Leader John Thune called the vote a good step forward, hoping that both parties will cooperate to speed up final approval. The shutdown, now the longest in the U.S. history, has disrupted air travel, frozen $5 billion in weapons export, and left tens of thousands of Americans without pay. That's all for now. For more content, please subscribe.